So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3, read by Lily6645. This fic sometimes includes suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 64, in which Izuku Midoriya is dragged into the old men yaoi. Summary, exactly what the title says. Wait, is something on fire? Izuku scoffed, kicking a can as he walked. Despite the conversation being over for a week now, it had been playing over and over again in his mind. What did Eraserhead know anyways? He wasn't throwing away his life. He was giving it meaning. It's not like he was trying to kill himself. Not anymore, that is. He shut his eyes in frustration, resisting the urge to repeatedly smack his head into the nearest wall. It wasn't like that. It wasn't. Was it? No, it couldn't be. Izuku was arguably less suicidal than he had been when he first started this whole vigilante thing. Thank you very much. And anyways, if he really was trying to end it, no way he'd let this stupid league of villains finish him off. Getting killed by Emo Behohand, yet a hard pass. Abruptly, he felt his foot get caught on something, yelping as he face-planted. "Oh my god, kid! I'm so sorry!" A voice way too loud rang next to his ear. Izuku pushed himself up and stared at present Mike, hoping the man could sense his irritation. The frantic apologies kept following as the blonde yanked Izuku to his feet and dusted him off. Yet the man seemed oddly dim. Izuku didn't like it. "Why are you—" The vigilante paused and gestured to the man. "That." Mike's eye twitched. What's that supposed to mean?" "You look all sad and mopey." The pro loudly groaned and flopped back on the place on the ground he'd been sitting previously, shoving his head in his hands. "It's, dangerous for you to just sit there out of uniform." "I messed up so bad. Tragically bad, even," he announced dramatically. I told Shota I had a girlfriend. A girlfriend! Me! Mike? I don't even have a girlfriend. I'm gay. Mike? So gay. Even though I just realized because I have Mike. A giant crush on Shota. Present Mike. What? Eraserhead is right there! The pro hero stared at Izuku blankly, face rapidly paling. As the teen's words sunk in, he blinked once. Twice. You're serious now? Izuku winced in sympathy. Yeah. Slowly, Yamada turned to his right. No one was there. He turned to his left. Yep, he finally spotted Aizawa. The underground hero's hands shook, and his face was bright red. God, he hated gay old men. They could never just say they liked each other. No, they just had to do something stupid. "Yeah, I'm just gonna go," Izuku said awkwardly, then scrammed. He could hear Yamada book it in the distance as Aizawa chased him. Again, He'd repeat himself. He hated old gay men. The streets were quiet. The lampposts gently flickered off as the sun rose. Civilians wandered the streets, and Izuku waved to Rocklock from his perch. After a few meetings in the early morning, Izuku had managed to become acquainted with the man. Hell, he even brought the vigilante breakfast sometimes. Must be the new parental instincts. His skin prickled uncomfortably despite the calm atmosphere of the early morning. He glanced to the horizon, the very smoky horizon. Uh-oh. That is the end of chapter 64. On to the next chapter. Chapter 65. This is kind of ironic. Mommy, why are you here? Summary. Izuku getting beaten and tossed into walls, 4K Ultra HD edition. Izuku blinked once, and then twice, looking to Rocklock, who had already started running. Okay, definitely not seeing things then. He clambered down the fire escape, legs twitching in the direction of the commotion, but it was morning. He wouldn't have the cover of night or a blanket of panic. If he went over there right now, there was a good chance he'd get caught for good. He could hear murmurs of panic beginning to spike around him, the plume of smoke rising. Never let it be said Izuku Midoriya had any sense of self-preservation. This remained especially true as he darted closer through the alleyways and crowds of gaping civilians until he was right near the issue, Nomu. He glanced around. Nomu, as in plural. What the hell were they doing in Musutafu? A chunk of rubble almost smashed into the large crowd. Only Rocklock's quick thinking prevented a catastrophe. Just managing to graze the offending piece of concrete and lock it in place, Izuku was snapped back into the situation, jolted as the new father called his name. Yahoo! Get them out of here! I'll stop any debris! That was all that he needed. Suddenly he was redirecting and yanking bystanders like he was born to do it. His left hand twitched in discomfort at the repeated use so soon, fingers that weren't even there, feeling as if they were on fire. The Lock hero had his work cut out for him. While heroes like Endeavor were focused on the Nomu, Rocklock was desperately attempting to minimize the damage on any lingering civilians. Izuku paused, panting, taking a moment to scan for any lingering idiots. Ignoring that pre-Yahoo, he'd definitely be considered one of those lingering idiots. Rocklock! We should be in the clear! Izuku choked. All he could do was look up at the empty eyes of a Nomu before the fist against his sternum sent him rocketing back through the streets, right near one of the evacuation routes. He could hear the screams as Izuku knocked through several people, finally skidding to a stop. And yet, as soon as he'd managed to get his head to stop spinning, a large foot dug into his side and sent him sprawling in the other direction. He smacked against a concrete wall, face first, Before Izuku could even take a damn breath, that same hand that launched him had grabbed his elbow. He felt a crack. A scream tore its way out of his throat, despite his best efforts, and he was again tossed carelessly through a wall. He coughed only once, harsh and wet and grating against his throat. He felt the front of his bandana grow warm and damp with it. Oh dear, that couldn't be good. A brick below him was hard and pointy and unforgiving, as was the foot that stomped down on his rib cage. Izuku didn't have it in him to go anything over than twitch with the movement. He missed the hardwood of his temporary apartment and the bed of his home. Was this it? Well, and truly it? God, it felt like he said that every other Tuesday. Talk about a bad habit. He blearily glanced up. Alone. He was alone in a random, demolished convenience store as the battle raged on. If he had been any other hero, any other vigilante, he could have taken the Nomu down. Alas, as he learned very young, not all men were created equal. Izuku had been in the 20% that was filthy, worthless, less than any other living creature. He turned his head away from the screaming outside, his ears ringing, instead looking at the fridge next to him. The vigilante couldn't help the small snort that escaped him. Of course, he was next to the damn chocolate milks, and by extension, the Yahoos. What would his death be if not ironic? He shut his eyes, just barely managing to open them back up. When had he gotten so heavy? Maybe it was the plastic of the goggles stuck in his face, or that he was succumbing to his injuries. Either way, Izuku was stuck. Again, his eyes were forced back open by sheer will alone. He didn't know why. Eraserhead had been right. Maybe Izuku was just throwing his life away. The teen's head lolled to the side, taking in the large form of the buff Nomu. He was so tired. Everything hurt. Things he didn't even know he hurt. Maybe it was time he just let it... Wait. No! The Nomu roared at people, swiping and swinging, even as heroes attempted to wrangle it. It was in front of a woman. She was short, with green hair. Her eyes matched her locks, and if Izuku squinted hard enough, she might have had freckles. It couldn't be. It couldn't be. It wasn't. Help! It was. That was his mom. That is the end of chapter 65 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. If you like this, please go support the original author. Links in the description below. Hope you have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, kittens!